just like the moon. So does this prove the legend of the Bakunawa? Or is it just a bunch of air in my gut?
What in the world is happening here? Why are you sticking your tongue out while singing?
The Philippines is a country rich in tradition and our ancient folklore.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, those in between, welcome back to my channel. Right here and today we're going to be reacting to another SB19's video. Hey everyone, I hope you guys are having a wonderful time wherever you're in the world right now. If you're completely brand new to this channel, please do check out my other reaction videos, especially my reaction videos to SB19's videos, and if you like them, hit the subscribe button for closing out this video. Anyway, today I decided to make a reaction video to this video which I came across earlier this afternoon while I was scrolling through YouTube for a material for another reaction video to another SB19's video, and then I found this one. And the title of this video is Felip's Bulan is a proof of SB19's dark obsession, which is another CashualChuck's documentary. So I'm not exactly sure what the content of this video is, but I assume this is more like about Felip, aka Ken. I don't know, maybe this video is about his song Bulan. I'm not exactly sure. But before we dive into reacting to this video, I would just like to tell you guys that I do appreciate the fact that you guys take a few minutes of your time to write suggestions, recommendations in the comment section. But I'd like you to know that I am a little bit hesitant and reluctant to make any reaction videos to any interviews and personal vlogs, because quite honestly it's risky to do so. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, YouTube notifies the owners of these personal vlogs, and the owners have the right to give any YouTube content creators a copyright strike if they want to. So I hope that you guys understand if right at the moment I'm not confident enough about making a reaction video to these interviews or vlogs that you guys suggest in the comments section. But I'd like you to know that I do appreciate that you guys suggest stuff, anything related to SB19. And another thing, please cross that word sir out, because I'm not really delighted in it. I'd rather you called me Kuya Prince or Kuya. And to those of you guys living outside the Philippines who have no idea what this word means, it means it's more like a formal way of addressing somebody older than you, precisely an older brother. Yes, so just call me Kuya Prince or Kuya. Anyway guys, I don't want to keep you waiting for much longer. Without any further ado, let's get started.
This is where I am. This is the island of Palawan. What's interesting is that it's shaped like a sea dragon with its mouth wide open.
Oh, okay.
What's more interesting is the island right next to it. Yep, it's a crescent shape, just like the moon. So does this prove the legend of the Bakunawa? Or is it just a bunch of air in my gut?
What in the world is happening here? Why are you sticking your tongue out while singing?
The Philippines is a country rich in tradition, and our ancient folklore isn't something to be undervalued. Unfortunately, the rise of social media has made our younger generations clueless about it. Something has to happen to make it better. And what else is better than Felip's latest banger as the reminder? May 4, 2022. Felip announced this. 18
okay.
were like...
Wait, hang on. I need to pause the video because I am a little bit confused about the correct pronunciation of Felip's name. Is it Felip or Felip? Because I've heard CashualChuck pronounce this twice, and he pronounced it as Felip with the stress on the second syllable. But I mean, I don't know, I guess I'm wrong, so, but I am honestly not used to pronouncing it as Felip. Okay, but I'll do my best to pronounce it as Felip instead of Philip. But anyway, let's move on. What do you mean you're not ready? For what?
It was plain obvious that the next song is going to be based on Filipino mythology. But doesn't it feel like deja vu? It makes me want to say,
I think I've seen this film before.
SB19 has definitely done this many times. Just take a look at Mana.
Manananggal.
It's a song based on a mythical creature called Manananggal that flies at night to hunt humans and leaves its
Right.
lower body in a safe place.
Correct.
This cleverly became their metaphor for humbleness because they are performers who seek great heights when it comes to musical success, but
Oh,
they
okay.
always keep their feet on the ground. What about What?
What?
It's the song where they mention the Iron Maiden, an ancient torture method that puts a person in a standing sarcophagus full of metal blades inside. It might be simple at first, but if you get locked into it for days, you'd end up falling asleep only to wake up over and over again to the pain of blades piercing your body until you give up and end up killing yourself when you couldn't
My.
stand anymore.
Breaking down.
Once again, their collective inventiveness made such a horrifying thing a symbol of real-life trials. Enter Pablo.
La Luna. La Luna is the moon in English, right? Okay, I'd like to talk about just a few things about the song Mana. I honestly thought that song was literally about this fictional creature called Manananggal and the kind of evil creature that preys on pregnant women. I honestly did not realize that that song was about humility and about staying humble despite rising to fame. So, like I said before, one of the things that I find quite ironic about SB19's songs is the fact that you need to go beyond the literal meaning of the song, the lyrics, in order for you to fully understand what the song is all about. It's paradoxical, but in a delighting way. Okay, let's move on.
This song talks about the two lives of a werewolf, which creatively depicted the story of converting self-doubt into acceptance and self-love. But all of these things were nothing compared to this power of manifestation. Just take a listen to this one. Josh low-key predicted Felip's second single.
So it's
Philippines!
Beatriz
In
Luigi
Philippine mythology,
Gomez.
the Bakunawa is a dragon that swallows the moon and causes eclipses.
Oh my goodness, I really love
The
that
legend of the
national
Bakunawa
costume.
started-
I personally think that that is one of the best Philippines' national costumes ever represented on Miss Universe stage. And of course, I was rooting for Beatriz Luigi Gomez to win the title, but she didn't make it. But she was able to put the Philippines back on top 5, and that's enough. Okay, let's move on. Why am I talking
way back,
about Miss Universe?
even before the colonial period, the word was even
Well, that's because I am a huge fan of pageantry, and I used to. What is wrong with you vehicles? I was just saying that I was a huge fan of pageantry. But anyway, let's move on.
listed in the Visayan Spanish dictionary, which is a direct translation of the eclipse of the moon. Once upon a
Bakunawa.
time, Bathala created 7 moon deities with the purpose to light up each night of the week. They were Subang, Banilig, Banolor, Bayari, Libulan, Bulan, and Halia. During the nighttime, Bulan, together with his siblings, sometimes comes down to the earth to ease their boredom. Different birds would flock, and reclusive mermaids would surface together and become friendly with the animals to appreciate the siblings.
Okay, let me pause the video because I'd like to compliment CashualChuck on doing such a fantastic job. I mean, he put a lot of efforts into doing research on the subject matter, which I find really commendable. And quite honestly, if I were in his position, I would have probably given up. I mean, this is a lot of information to process, quite honestly.
Unparalleled beauty and alluring presence. From the dark corners of the deep, the Bakunawa saw their majestic light, which immediately made the dragon obsessed to possess one of them. So it decided to emerge and succeeded in swallowing Subang in one gulp.
Okay.
The
One
Bakunawa
of the
returned to the
moons,
deep as it
Subang?
felt warm and its domain shined with the brightness of Subang's light. But it only lasted temporarily because the moon gradually melted in its gut.
In Iloilo, when you say Subang, it's actually not pronounced as Subang, it's pronounced as Subang, with a stress on the second syllable. That means firstborn. So I'm not exactly sure whether Subang here is more like the firstborn moon among the 7 moons. I'm just guessing. I'm not good at Philippine mythology. I'm sorry. Let's move on.
This frustrated the Bakunawa, so it flew to the sky to devour yet another moon. Halia was its
Halia.
target this time because her radiant light was just irresistible. But her twin brothers Banilig and Banolor defended her, so they ended up getting swallowed instead.
Okay.
The serpent then retreated again to enjoy his spoils. This scared the heck out of the remaining siblings, so Bulan got himself rescued by his suitor Sidapa, the god of death,
Oh, okay.
who fell in love with him despite knowing they have the same gender. Mayari also left for the purpose of challenging
Wow.
Apulakai, the sun god, to rule over the earth,
I
but
didn't
she
know
would then
that.
be defeated, resulting in her losing an eye, so she would end up settling
That's
down
pretty
by marrying
interesting.
a mortal man who would become the country's first shaman.
Okay.
Interesting stories for sure, but it's for another video.
Daddy, chill.
Anyway, after a few nights, the obsession of the Bakunawa took a turn for the worse as the 2 moons melted in its stomach yet again. At this point, only 2 moons remain,
Okay.
Bulan and Halia.
Okay.
The Bakunawa aimed for Halia, but Bulan defended her, so he ended up getting swallowed instead. In
Okay.
desperation to save Bulan, Halia mustered the light of the stars, which conjured a magic sword that she used to strike the Bakunawa. She
Okay.
managed to hurt the dragon, which resulted in spitting out Bulan. But he was no longer a god. He
Okay,
became a
I'd like
mere
to pause the video because, again, I'd like to compliment CashualChuck on doing such a fantastic job with the editing of his video. Oh my goodness, I can tell that he spent a lot of time editing this video out. Just, wow, I am simply dumbfounded.
young mortal boy. Halia saw this as an opportunity to keep Bulan safe, so she continued to defend herself from the Bakunawa by using her sword for as long as she could.
Okay.
She became a capable warrior and started to cover her face to grieve for his lost brothers and hide her ravishing beauty.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Bulan only remembers his name and retained his carefree and naive attitude. He had this occasional vision of a Bakunawa swallowing a moon, so he started telling it to the townspeople, which scared the heck out of them. Bulan enjoyed it, so he did it more often until the people realized it wasn't true.
Okay.
He was then branded as a liar. On one fateful night, Bulan saw the Bakunawa emerging from the lake, soaring to devour the moon.
And then nobody
He immediately
believed him
told the
anymore.
townspeople about it, but no one would believe him anymore.
Right.
So he
Kind of
went to
reminds me of
distract
this.
the Bakunawa.
It actually kind of reminds me of this fable, one very popular fable, but it's more like. Oh, okay, never mind.
By himself.
I don't have the
It
ability
started
to explain
chasing.
that fable, so I'd rather
As
not.
Bulan ran for his life, he crashed upon a pile of cooking pans and fell.
Okay.
As he looked back, the Bakunawa was already retreating to the depths.
Okay.
Bulan made such a loud noise that it woke the villagers, so they saw the Bakunawa as it was leaving. That is when they confirmed that it was true.
Okay.
Bulan proceeded to warn them because the Bakunawa might come back anytime soon to consume the moon. The young boy convinced them to fight back and protect the moon as he discovered the Bakunawa's weakness. So the whole village prepared and built the biggest weapon to defeat the evil dragon.
Okay.
When the Bakunawa surfaced again, the people were ready as they rallied together and started making as much noise as possible. However, the Bakunawa still managed to swallow the moon, but not until they rang the biggest gong they ever built.
Whoa. Whoa. Epic. Epic.
The sound destroyed Bakunawa's wings and it inflicted so much pain that it had to spit out the moon. The Bakunawa fell hard into the water and would never be seen again for a long time. Bulan had no idea that the moon he just saved was actually his twin sister.
Wow.
The
Very
legend says that
interesting.
Bakunawa to this day still attempts to swallow the moon once every 2.5 years. That's when the legend of the blood moon was born.
Okay.
The explanation behind the moon's red color is the blood from Halia's wounds inflicted by Bakunawa's deadly bite.
Alright.
This scene represents an ancient childhood game called Bulan. It's just so commendable how Felip is creatively
I
bringing
played
back
that
his
back when I was
country's
a
rich
kid,
ancient
Bulan
culture
Bulan.
as it deserves to be remembered for generations to come.
Bulan. I played that. I played that with my fellow little kids back when I was in elementary school.
In Felip's universe, the Bakunawa symbolizes the haters.
The
The
haters.
eclipse represents trials and tribulations. To save the moon from it, Felip, along with his people, creates music.
Okay.
Music that produces a sound so profound that it sends shockwaves that ignites Halia's burning desire to fight back and cast away this evil being. After all, Halia is us.
18.
We are Felip's Bulan.
Wow, love that. Love that. We are Felip's Bulan. Love that. Okay, first off, I'd like to say that CashualChuck did such an incredible, amazing job on this video. Wow, that's all I can say. I mean, I'm at a loss for words. I honestly don't know what to say. I mean, this is more like a mythology lesson. I am not really into mythology, quite honestly, but because this one is related to SB19, I'm so happy about being able to finish watching this. And I've realized that Bakunawa in the music video Bulan actually signifies the haters. Most of you guys actually told me that before, but quite frankly, I've already forgotten that. And thanks to this video, this is more like a reminder of the fact that no matter how successful one can be, there will always be haters who will not be happy about someone else's success. And I think that's pretty natural. I think that is human nature, and I guess that is something that we need to practice coping with, especially me as a content creator. And I guess I need to master the art of ignoring somebody, or like turning my back on these haters, because quite honestly, I have the tendency toward taking these mean comments seriously. I guess that's because I'm just a human being, so I guess I need to start practicing the art of turning back on haters. Anyway guys, that's about it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you like this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when my next video comes out. Peace out.